Hello designers, this is me Azad and it is day 7 of Beginners to Pro series in AutoCAD. In last video we saw about the different types of the arrays and today we are going to discuss about a few examples on that. Majorly as a mechanical we'll be going to use polar array in common because many of our components will be circular in nature. Okay, so that's why like some two examples I took on that which on which we'll be going to discuss, right? So here, this is a simple structure like which is there, which is of array. Okay, and here two things are there. Okay, one is this a circular thing it is there inside that is also made up of array only, and outermost also it is made up of array itself, right? So yeah, so we'll be going to discuss on this. Here, if you can see the circle, okay, so here basically four circles are there. Okay, so this is one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one, right? So in which two circles are visible and two are for my references, right? So and coming to the dimensions of that, okay, so the inside circle, like the inside one, it is of 20 diameter. The next to that, okay, so it is of 30. Okay, so and then the third one, okay, so it's of 40, and the fifth one is 50. Okay, so likewise 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay, so it is having a common diameter of difference of 10. Okay, so as it is a diameter, I can just go for the offset of 5. Okay, and that is what I'm going to do here. So yeah, I'll be just going to take a diameter circle, which is of 20. Okay, and then I'll be just going to go for the offset of this for 5 mm. Okay, I'll just go for the offset of 5. This will be going to 20. So this is 30, 40, and 50, right? So yeah, that is the thing. Four circles were there, which is of 20, 30, 40, and 50. So which I drawn something like this. Instead of drawing four different circles, you just take a offset of 5 as there is a equal like difference, right? Yeah. So in which this circle and this circle are for my references, right? So for making it as a reference, okay, so here you can see we have something called as properties. Okay, so in which I can change the multiple things of a line. Okay, so first and foremost thing it is about the color which I can be able to change. Okay, and then it is about the thickness of it, the type of it, and then coming to here the transparency of it. Okay, so transparency means how bright or how dull it has to look like. Okay, so in that way. Okay, suppose I just change the color of to some like red color, and I want to change it to the center line. Okay, so because it is for my references. Okay, and as I told, this is for the thickness, different kinds of the thickness, and this is for the type. Okay, so but as of now, there is no type, only layer, block, and the continuous it is there. If you want to get even more types, you just need to go for this other. Okay, so in that other option, you have to load for the types. Okay, you can see here plenty of the line types are there. Okay, so your dotted line, hidden line, continuous line, center line, many types are there. Okay, so in that I want to choose the center line because I wanted that. Okay. So yeah, again, once again, I'll just choose this. One time you have to load it and then continuously it will be available for that particular drawing. Okay. So I'll just choose that as a center line and I created like something like this. Okay. And in the meantime, I'll just change the transparency also so that it should look less brighter than the like object line. Okay. These things are we call as that like object line, which all are like visible lines are there. Those things we can call it as object line. Okay. So yeah, I'll just change the transparency to some level. Okay, so you can change it accordingly, however you want. Okay, so I just make it as like somewhat lighter than this color. Okay, so that for differentiation it will be easier for me, right? So yeah, that is the thing. And then if you can see here, two circles are there. Okay, so one's diameter it is of 5 and one more it is of 3. Okay, and in front of that 14 it is shown. Okay, so which means 14 circles are there total, right? So those circles I'll be going to draw. Okay, so two circles, one is of 5 diameter and one is of 3 diameter of a total of 14 instances. Okay, so the 14 instances we can be able to do with the help of array. Okay, so I'll just go for the diameter circle and I have to draw it on this. Okay, so this circle. Okay, and this is again one more thing like important thing it is there. Which is like alignment. Okay, so as of now, like total 14 objects are there. Okay, you just need to like visualize whether it is horizontally aligned or vertically aligned. Okay, so in this case, if you see, it is vertically aligned, right? So in the vertical line, if you can see the center of that circle, it is starting. But horizontal, there is no center of circle. Okay. So that's why you have to go for the vertical lines. Okay. So with this vertical quadrant, you have to choose, right? So diameter circle, one it is of 5 mm. Okay. So one more circle will be of 3 mm. Okay. So I'll just give that. You can see these two circles, I want a total 14. Okay. And as you know, like array, I'll just choose this and I'll go for here array, type of array in which a polar array. Okay, so because I want circular manner. Okay, and then you just need to choose the center point. Okay, and a total 14 instances were there. Okay, so I'll just go to give for 14. Okay, you can see total 14 instances will be going to come like this. Okay, yeah, that is the thing. Okay, so 14 circles are over, right? So once you finish with this, okay, so now it is about this thing. Okay, so yeah, uh, and outside things, if you see, total 6 instances are there. Okay, so outside. Okay, so more than this, if I go for the picture, yeah, here I can show it even more, but okay. So here you can see 6 instances are there total. Okay. So in which I wanted to I need to do it only once. One thing, other things I can just go for the array. Okay. So as you know. So here the thing is I'll be going to choose this. You can do anything. And here you can see the horizontal line it is there. Okay. So that's why I'm choosing this. And one more reference line I have to create whose diameter, like whose angle it is given over here, which is of 30 degrees, right? So 30 degrees it is there, which means from this side it has to be 60. Okay. So in this case, okay, so what I'll be going to do, I'll just go take a line. Okay, so reference line from the center, one for this side. I'll just turn on the ortho mode. Okay, so I'll just turn on for this. And then for the other side, as you know, like angle it was of 60. Okay, so I'll just choose that and I'll take the line of at a distance of, sorry, at an angle of 60. Okay, you can see. Likewise, okay. And as you know, this are also your reference lines only. Okay, so it is not like again I'll go for change color, your transparency, all those things. Instead of that, here there is an option called as match properties. Okay, so I'll just going to click on that and I'll choose this as my reference and I'll be going to portray on this both the lines. Okay, so now you can see the property of this got shared between these two lines. Okay, yeah. So this is the simple method how to do. Okay, so then if you can see here. Yeah, so here there is a offset. Okay, so from this line, it is not exactly on this line. Here there is a offset. Okay, so that gap we have to check. Okay, so in this here, if you can see, here there is a gap. It is of 8 mm, right? So 8 mm gap means 4 mm, half of it. Okay, so the same line you can just copy it for 4. Okay, so for that, we can be able to go for offset. Okay, so I'll go for the offset of 4 mm, and I'll be just going to offset it in this way and this line in this way. Okay, and then again I'll go for the match property of this line to this two. Okay, yeah, so this is like simple thing, right? So now I'll go for again the other things. Okay, so here you can see I'll be able to go for this circle. Okay, so I need to create this circle, which is also obviously has to be of 8 mm diameter only. Okay, so yeah, that is the thing. I'll just going to create that, and then I can go for the trimming. Yeah, I'll go for the diameter circle from this instances. Oh, sorry. From this you have to take. Okay, so because this is my reference circle, not this one. So you have to go from this intersection and you have to go for 8 mm. Okay, and here you can see here there will be a tangency, but still if you can see from this line here there is extra line is there. Okay, so later we have to trim this also. Okay, so while trimming we have to be careful about that. So one more circle I'll be requiring, which is the here. Okay, so which is also of 8 mm only. Okay, yeah. So I'll just go for trim now. Okay, so I'll take a trim and I'll trim it over here. Okay, and this circle. And after this line, I don't want anything. Okay, so this circle I'll just going to trim like this. And here also it is straight in this manner, right? So I won't be requiring this. And here, as I told, you just need to zoom in and you have to trim this also. Okay, so same thing will be repeating here also. Okay, so just like this you just need to trim. Okay, so this extra lines you can just select it and delete it, no issues. Okay, yeah. So then here there is one more curve it is there. Okay, so if you can see here, here everywhere it is maintaining that curve. Okay, so and the curve's radius, if you can see here, it is mentioned, it is of R50. Okay, so you have to create a circle which is of radius 50, right? So I'll just go for the radius circle from here, so radius. Okay, so from here of 50. Okay, so this line has to be touched to this. Okay, so you can just go for the extend also. Okay, so the trim, if you just press and hold the shift button, it will be going to act as a extend. Okay, yeah, so something like this you just need to create. Okay, so once you do like this, you can trim the other line because I want to be requiring this. I want only so much. Okay, so in that now the thing it is about this curve. Okay, so this curve I have to create. Okay, so here for that, what would be the reference means? So here if you can see 5 mm it is there. Okay, so straight line I have to take and I have to cut it for 5 mm. Okay, so for which I'll be taking the reference of your like polyline. Okay, so polyline I will be going to take from here. Okay, for the straight 5 mm. After that, for like straight line, it has to be exactly horizontal like this. Okay, so just needed to focus on this point. Okay, So in the same way here also the same thing. Okay, so for the first line you have to make sure this line it is perpendicular to this line. Okay, so you can see as of now it is perpendicular. If you just keep it for the 30 degrees, it will be perpendicular. Okay, so you just need to make sure this is a perpendicular and you have to take it for the 5 mm. And once you give the 5 mm, you have to make sure this line is parallel with this so that it has to cut at a correct position. Okay, so you can see at this position it is cutting, right? So I got both the references for this curve, right? So for this curve, I got both the references. Okay. And now the thing is, I have the starting point, ending point, and I have the radius of that curve, right? So this is basically the arc, okay, so which is having starting point, ending point, and the radius. Okay. So in the types of radius, like arcs, we have to search for the arc which is having a start, end, and the radius thing. Okay. So here you can see start and radius it is there. Okay. So just go for that, and the starting point is this, ending point is this, okay, and then go for the 25. Okay. So you can see you can be able to get the curve like this. Okay, so then you just need to trim out the other parts which are not required. Okay, so I'll just go for deleting this, and I'll be going to take a trim and I'll be trimming this. Okay, so this thing completely I wanted for 6 instances. Okay, so one, two, this all the edges. I wanted it for polar array from the center. Okay, you can see 6 instances close array. Okay, yeah. So this is how that part is like completed. Okay, so yeah. So the simple structure. Okay, so which is of like which is made out of your circular array. Okay, see when you look at it, the things might look complex. Okay, so but when you really do it, okay, so it will be very simple. Okay, so you just need to break down the problem statement into like smaller pieces, right? So yeah, so in the same way, we'll be going to see one more example, which is there over here. Okay, so which is of like a kind of blade kind of thing it is there. Okay, so yeah, these pictures I added with the help of XReference. Okay, so which we saw like previously itself. Okay, yeah, so here also like some interesting circles are there. Okay, so we'll see. Yeah, so this also I'll just take it up the picture. Okay, so you can see here, here 20, 45, 70. Okay, and here you can notice like your previous example here there is no equal instances. Okay, so there is no equal gapping. Okay, so it is like irregular. Here it is 20 and here it is 45. Here the difference is 15. But if you see here, okay, so it is not the same thing. Okay, so that's why we can't go for the offset here. We have to rely on the creation of the circles itself. Okay, so but the good thing is everything is of radius circle only. So repeatedly with the help of spacebar we can be able to draw this. Okay, so first one is of 20, 45, 70, and 93. Okay, so total your four different circles we have to create. Okay, so yeah, I'll just go to create for the circle. Go for the home radius circle. I have to start with the 20. Okay, so 20 circle, and the same again 45 circle. Okay, and then I have the 70 circle. Okay, and then I have the 93. Right, 93 circle, right? So yeah, these are all the circles I drawn. Okay, so once I drawn this, as you know, this is just for the reference again. So I'll just do the things. Okay, so what all are required for it? Okay, so yeah, I'll just go for this circle and I'll just change it to color. Okay, otherwise I can go for the mass properties also. Mass properties. Previously we did that. Okay, so this lines match property. I'll just going to match it with this circle. Okay, yeah, so something like this, and then again I'll be requiring like two more references. Okay, so now see the circles are over. Now it is about this blade kind of thing. Okay, so for that the thing is one teeth I have to create, the other teeth I can be able to like go for the array, right? So for creation of this, okay, so here many things are there. Okay, so first and foremost thing is to create the vertical and the horizontal reference. Okay, so these two lines I'll just create it off, and then I'll creating this line at a degree of 10 mm. Okay, sorry, 10 degrees. Okay, so I'll take two lines. Okay, so from this reference a straight line like this. Okay, and then a horizontal line like this. Okay, and both has to be like matched with the property of this. Okay, so this one and this one. Okay, yeah, so then I have one more line which is at a degree of 10 from this side, which means 80 from this side. So I'll go for the tab 80 degrees. Okay. Yeah. So this also will be matched with this. Okay. You can see something like this. Okay. Yeah. So now we have to go for this. Okay. So you can see from here, I have to start the line. Okay. So which has to be touching at a distance of 22 as a vertical. Okay, so I have to create a reference of this 22 line and then I have to match with this line. Okay, and then it is of 5 mm, and after that here it is given as 23. Okay, so we'll see how to do this. Okay, so with this 23 reference, we'll see. Before that, I'll just go for this 22 line and I'll create that. Okay, so here with this reference, I'm having for 22 enter, and I just will match with this line. I'll be going to cut this. Okay, and I'll take a polyline from this reference. Okay, so till this at this side it has to be 5. Okay, and from that 5 I have to here make sure of that 23. Okay, so we'll see how to do that. Before that, I'll just delete that reference. From here I have to do. Okay, so that is fixed. Okay, so then I have to calculate. You see, the thing is this 23 is not from the vertical thing. Okay, so it is at a slanting which is already 10. Okay, so here we just need to do some simple calculation. I'll just show you how to do that. Yeah, here I'll just go the line. Okay, so here you can see it is a 23. If I just take a straight line like this, okay, so as this is your Z, okay, so if it is a 10 degree, this angle also has to be 10 degree, right? So that 10 I'll be just going to add on with this 23, which makes it as a 33. Okay, so if I just take a straight line like this is already of 90. Right. So this 90, this plus 23, if you do, you'll be able to get this total angle as 123. Okay, so that is how you will draw this line. Okay, so which is very simple. Okay, so it's a simple calculation, right? So yeah, that is how you have to do. So yeah, here I have to take a line. Okay, so whose angle? Okay, so will be of 123. Okay, so I'll take a line of reference and then I'll go for the tab, and I'll give the angle of 123. Okay, so which we calculated. Okay, you can see this point, it is not intersecting at the quadrant, it is at some distance, right? And that distance we calculated with the help of angle what it was given, right? Yeah, so this is how like the simple calculation for this creation of this. Okay, yeah, so then you can just join this. Okay, so for creation of a single teeth. Okay, so this teeth I wanted for completely. Okay, so I have to check. Okay, so how much instances are there? Okay, so if you here you can see 26 numbers it is there, which means 26 instances are there, right? So I'll just go select this and I'll go for the polar array with the help of the center. Okay, so the center it is there here. Okay, I'll go for 26 numbers. Okay, and I'll just going to close it. Okay, yeah, so this is how it is. Okay, so then in between line, what all it is there, you have to just trim that. Okay, so I'll go for the trim and I'll be going to trimming it like this. Okay. Oh, so there is some problem. Okay, so we didn't create it at exactly middle. Otherwise, it will not cut some completely like this. Okay, so it is somewhat deviated. Okay, so with the help of that, we can be able to get to know. Okay, so while doing the array, you have to be very careful. Okay, so you have to take exactly center. Okay, so which is this. Okay, so 26. The choosing of the point also very matters very much. Okay, so now you can see. Yeah. It has to cut like this. Okay, so it should not cut completely. Okay, if it is cutting completely, okay, so we did any like something mistake or something like that. You have to like take it. Okay, so you have to check once again whether you choose correct point or not. Okay, so like this, I'll be just going to trim all this. Okay, so you can make it single also. Otherwise, you can just drag it also. Okay. Yeah. So this is how that complete blade structure it is. Okay, and then we just left out with one more small thing. Okay, so which is of this circle, and here it is given. Okay, so radius of 10 and multiplication of 3, which means 3 circles are there. Okay, so all these three are of 10 radius. Okay, so that is what it means, and it is horizontally aligned. Okay, so which is best thing for us. Okay, so one thing I can create, other thing I can just go for the array. Okay, so circle I'll take off radius at here of 10. Okay, and then I'll go for the array of this enter with this enter point. Okay, of 3 instances. Okay, yeah, so yeah, this is how that simple thing it is about. Yeah, so I hope you clear all the things. Okay, so this is what like some simple examples of your array. Okay, so one more last example I want to take as a gear thing. Okay, so I'll just do it manually itself. I'll not maintain any of the dimension. So simple thing, I'll just create a circle like this and I'll go with the simple thing like this and I'll go for the array of this of for some 6 instances. Close array. Okay, suppose I want to trim this. I can't be able to trim the array. Okay, so you can see because array is the one which is having the relation. Okay, so that's why if you are trimming any of the array, you have to explode it first. Okay, so you have to select on that and you have to explode. Now, if you can see, I can be able to trim that. Okay, so something like this, if I just do. Okay, so it is just like some simple gear like structure. Okay, so not exactly, but still just like a gear. Okay. Yeah, so this is what like use of your circular array and as a mechanical, as I told, many of your portions will be of like circular array only. So yeah, that is what the thing is. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video and you got everything what which I covered. So in the okay, so that's it for today. In the next session, so okay, so we'll see the other things like your dimensions and all. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.